I have been in music for a good part of my life and have been involved in the leadership of various choirs besides other organizations and clubs. It has been my pleasure to observe orchestral performances, music concerts, and all sorts of choral display. I am purely in love with music. In my view, orchestra forms one of the best analogies of what effective leadership can and should achieve. Learning about music and orchestra is such an exciting journey, full of adventure and fantastic experiences. Leadership is in any organization at any level should feel the same. Lest you get me wrong, I learned in my own way that exciting does not necessarily mean easy. It doesn't mean less pressure. It involves challenges and constraints. To me, something that is adventurous and not very predictable, where I have to maintain a positive mental attitude in order to succeed, is exciting. I hope that's clear. In any organization or group I happen to associate with, my natural tendency is to use that particular organization as a leadership lab, trying to study the affairs and various leadership styles and resulting dynamics. Using my scientific analytics background and philosophical perspectives, this has been quite a rewarding experience with highly meaningful and practicable results. I keep this always as one of my pet subjects. I am not the greatest of leaders, but perhaps one of the greatest of learners in this field. Through my observation and inferences, I have managed to predict the outcomes of various leaders. I have been able to successfully foresee an organization that's likely to phase out in the coming years. That's what someone would regard as being prophetic, which to me is merely a matter of the law of cause and effect, that what causes something to happen shall always be able to do so under the same circumstances. My nature, no, by nature, I tend to love anything challenging. The very reason I chose to study physics in college. Since leadership is one of the most challenging skills on earth, I could not help getting attracted to it. Leadership is never straight. It seems to be so before one starts to practice it. The moon always looks closer to us than it really is. Having a PhD in leadership does not necessarily make one any greater leader than one who only attained elementary education. In a way, leadership has more to do with wisdom than cleverness, just like any other practical subjects, such as business, finance, selling, etc. Leadership determines the outcome. In a symphony orchestra, there is usually a large number of participants, including the flutists, violinists, the oboists, and the organists, among others. In most cases, as the orchestra performs, these parties accompany a choral group, that is the choir. It is the singers that have the message in a language people understand. The resulting experience is more than exhilarating. All the members work hand in synchrony, symphony, harmony to create a piece of music that is not only entertaining, but also inspiring and captivating, depending on the intended purpose of music composer. The final output from the team largely depends on how well the individual members coordinate, cooperate, and listen to each other in order to complete and not compete in a given task. How hard they work and their individual commitments to the common objective is vital. The best performances normally take an enormous amount of work, countless practice hours, and excellent leadership. As the team continues to practice and blend, depending on the leadership level of their director, the performance is bound to improve and the orchestra will become great. More and more talented members shall be attracted to the orchestra, and growth, which shall only be sealed by the effectiveness of leadership, shall be inevitable. A team, however good it may be, cannot draw maximum benefit from an individual talent unless the talent is rightfully plugged into the team. I love to say that it is the director of music, the director of the orchestra that makes music out of the written piece. The director's interpretation and understanding of the piece and his or her ability to bring out through the individual participants that he or she has figured out of the piece is what determines the quality of the outcome. That is leadership at its best. An individual talent, that's a quote, an individual talent is not good enough unless plugged into the right position within a good team. On the contrary, when the leadership is poor, more time is wasted, members feel underutilized and fatigued. They then lose focus and interest. The output becomes horrible and members quit. No new members get attracted to the team and no great talents show interest in joining. In life, few people want to associate with failure. Majority of people want success and love to be associated with successful ventures. Whenever you see an organization struggling in one way or the other, a bigger part of blame, in most cases, squarely lie on the leadership of that organization. This is true irrespective of the nature of the organization, profit making or otherwise, volunteer or not, choir or club. Leadership is everything. Everything rises and falls on leadership. That's J.C. Maxwell's quote. The question is, do you belong to an orchestral group? In life, each and every one of us is in some form of orchestra, playing one role or the other. You could be the director, the violinist, the stage manager, or in any other relevant position. Whatever the position you may hold, you are part and parcel of the team. And your contribution, however small it may seem to be, when viewed independently, directly affects the overall output. A win for the orchestra means you too have won, and a loss means you too have lost. We must start viewing our lives this way in order to grow. We are members of a family, a company, an institution, a church, a club, an investment group, or whatever it may be. We all belong to a society. In most cases, one is a member of many different organizations. Those individual organizations form the orchestra to which we belong, which is the focus of our study in this book. It must be finely tuned symphony orchestra, which is not only of great value to us, but also the individuals, to the individuals, to the organization, as well as to the society in which we live. Nature sings in harmony. The society operates the same way as an orchestra. All nature sing in tunes with rhymes and rhythms. Everything in nature cooperates with and contributes towards the whole. Nothing is independent. Everything is dependent. The Creator designed it that way. Only human beings have problems working together. And in many cases, have to be seduced into it. No wonder man has more problems on earth than any other creature. Yet he is the most intelligent of all. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, we have managed to fly like birds, to swim like fish, but are yet to learn the simple art of living as a community. That is the cause of all failure, all conflict, all disharmony, indeed, all discord.
Thank you so much, Otieno Paul Peter, for taking us through the chapter that you're supposed to read today. And personally,